Lesson 2, Personal Safety and Wellness. Hey again, welcome back. In Lesson 2 of your Community Paramedic course, we're talking about something essential, you. That's right, your personal safety and wellness. Because let's face it, if you're not physically, mentally, and emotionally ready, you won't be able to give your best to the patients who count on you. Besides, EMS is notorious for being excellent at caring for others, but often we are the last to care for ourselves, which is unhealthy and has long-lasting negative effects. So today we're going to dig into what wellness looks like for a community paramedic, how to deal with stress, how to stay safe in patients' homes, and what to do when things get, well, tense. What is wellness and why does it matter? Wellness isn't just the absence of illness. It's a full-on state of health, physical, mental, emotional, and even spiritual. Let's break that down. Physical wellness is about strength, flexibility, hydration, nutrition, sleep, basically keeping your body running like a reliable rig. Mental wellness means being in control of your emotions, able to think clearly, and bounce back when things get heavy. Emotional wellness is finding that balance between caring for others and not letting their pain drain you. And spiritual wellness, whether through religion or personal reflection, can be a major tool to reduce stress and find meaning in what we do. Here's the deal. You are a role model to your patients. If you're burned out, foggy-brained, or running on caffeine and fumes, it shows. So taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's part of the job. Nutrition, fitness, and preventive care. Let's get real for a second. Fast food, energy drinks, and no sleep is a recipe for burnout. So here are a few basics that go a long way. Plan meals and pack healthy snacks, nuts, fruit, water. Hydrate often and cut down on sugary drinks and caffeine. Move your body. 30 minutes of moderate exercise each day helps with stress, sleep, and focus. Get regular checkups and know your family history. Heart disease, cancer, diabetes. Prevention is powerful. Also, if you smoke, quit. Not just for you, but for your patients. That nicotine on your uniform, yeah, it can harm them too. Stress is inevitable, but burnout doesn't have to be. You're going to face stress in this role. There's no avoiding it, but you can learn to manage it. There are 3 types of stress to watch for. Acute stress happens in the moment. Your heart races, you sweat, you feel on edge. Delayed stress hits later, like after a bad call or tough conversation. Cumulative stress builds up over time, and that's the dangerous one. That's the one that leads to burnout. Burnout isn't just being tired. It's chronic exhaustion, irritability, emotional numbness, and dreading your shift. It's believing you're the only one who can fix things, or that you failed if your patient doesn't do well. Here's the thing. Those thoughts are common, but they're false. Nobody's perfect, and nobody should carry it alone. Some solid ways to protect yourself: controlled breathing during tense moments, progressive muscle relaxation at home, professional help when you feel overwhelmed, and simply checking in with yourself regularly. And yes, it's okay to feel things, just don't bottle them up. What about PTSD? Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, is real. Flashbacks, nightmares, random crying or laughing, pulling away from friends and family. It's more common in healthcare providers than we like to admit. While PTSD is the most widely known and perhaps overused diagnosis in EMS, we tend to face moral injury. This is when we see or are exposed to events or actions that fall outside of our own moral constructs, such as rape, neglect, assault, death of a child, injury, or death or the innocent, etc. Repetitive exposure to these events accumulates and injures our morals rather than causing PTSD. In fact, one of the key requirements to be considered PTSD is that the person had to have a real perception that their life was in danger, which often is not the case. If you recognize the signs of pulling away, random crying or laughing, flashbacks, nightmares in a patient or in yourself, don't ignore them. Share resources. Talk to someone. The worst thing you can do is isolate. Standard precautions, Schwestern standard practice. All right, time for a shift. Let's talk safety, specifically infection control. As a community paramedic, you're in people's homes. That means fewer controlled environments and more exposure risks. Protect yourself with standard precautions along with hänhygiene. Infectious diseases can spread through direct contact, like blood or fluids, indirect contact, like contaminated surfaces, airborne droplets, food or water, or even vectors like insects. Know your protocols for post-exposure. Know what to do if there's a needle stick, a blood splash, or anything that puts you at risk. And most of all, stay up to date on your immunizations. hostile scenes, and personal protection. In many cases, the community paramedic operates as a single provider, response, or visit. This is a vastly different dynamic from having a partner. Until you have gone to a few sketchy scenes or situations by yourself, it is hard to describe the environment it creates for the community paramedic. Not every home visit is safe. Be alert for shouting or aggressive body language, weapons or threats, drug use or unstable mental health, or just your gut saying, "This doesn't feel right." You have a right to request law enforcement. You have a right to say, "I don't feel safe." Safety always comes before care. And if you do find yourself in a tense situation, try to de-escalate. Stay calm, use non-threatening language, give people space, and never corner someone physically or emotionally. Lift smart, because your back matters. Finally, let's talk lifting. Working in patients' homes means awkward spaces and unusual setups, so use proper body mechanics. Lift with your legs, not your back. Communicate clearly with your partner before you lift. Minimize the load when you can, and always ask for help. Let's recap Lesson 2. Wellness is multidimensional: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Stress is normal, but burnout and PTSD are serious and manageable. Precautions and PPE protect you and your patients. Scene safety comes first. Trust your instincts. And proper lifting techniques can save your spine for years to come. Outro music fades in. That's it for Lesson 2. It may feel like a lot, but it's really all about one thing: preserving your ability to care. Because the community needs you healthy, alert, and ready for the next visit. In Lesson 3, we'll explore professional boundaries and how to build trust with your patients without crossing lines. See you then.